Hi, welcome to Learning to Reload. This is going to be my journey in reloading, honestly. We're going to talk about things that I learn, mistakes that I make. We're going to discuss the equipment that I use and hopefully not blow ourselves up. So, walk with me on this journey and I hope you enjoy it. So, to start with, I have a Hornady Lock and Load Classic reloading press. This is an O-frame style press. And I mainly got these because I like the fact of the lock and load bushings. So I can set up my, choose this one. I can set my die in the bushing here, load it into the press, and then later on, if I decide to get a progressive press, I can literally take the bushing and die out of this one and transfer it over with minimal adjustment. But also, when I'm loading on this press alone, I have a few other bushings that I can use. So I can set this one up for my decapping and resizing, and then go through setting up all my dies, and then I can do everything in one setting. So let's talk about some of the other equipment that I have, some of the equipment you need, some of the equipment that'll help. So equipment that you need. First thing, of course, is going to be your reloading press. You can't really reload without it. With the reloading press, you're going to need dies. Now, I just got these two here. And then I had the Lee reloading die for 4570 and for 223 as well. Now, one thing I will say with the 4570 is if, like me, you're loading for the Lever Revolution, you are going to need an additional crimp die, factory crimp die. Now, honestly, this is the primary reason I decided that I want to get into reloading. So this box is usually between $55 and $60 for 20 rounds. That equates to about $3 a round. And while that doesn't seem like much to some, when you're shooting 20, 40, 100 rounds at the range, that adds up really quickly. So I haven't quite done the math all the way out, but with the reloading, with the bullets, the powder, and the primer, I'm looking at about $100, and that can reload 50. Well, I've got 50. So $100 for 50. And I'll still have powder left over. I'll still have primers left over. So that's the main reason why I decided to start reloading. Now, I'm one of those people that when I start doing something, I tend to obsess about it. So I didn't just get the 4570, I got the 223. Well, then I had the 223, and I was like, well, I shoot a lot of 9mm, so I got 9mm. Well, I'm going to start shooting 308 more, so I got 308. It's a hobby, but it's also an obsession. And it gets pretty expensive quickly. So we need the press, we need the dies, but what else do we need? Well, we're also going to need a good set of calipers. This is probably the most used tool in reloading because you use this to measure your overall length or measure your case length to know how much you need to trim. That one's actually good. You measure your cartridge overall length to get your proper bullet seating. And with that, I also recommend getting a set of comparators. So these can be used to get a more accurate measurement between the bullets and their proper seating. So if you'll notice, these are bulk 223s that I actually got from buying my Hornady press. And this one measures out to 0.7135. And this one, 0.7190. And a lot of that is due to the shape of the maplat, or the tip of the bullet. So with the comparator gauge, you actually will get a better measurement because it doesn't measure on the tip of the bullet. It measures on the ogive, which is the part that actually begins to meet the lands inside the rifling of the barrel. And that's mainly the reason why your cartridge overall length is what it is, because you don't want to get too close to the lands inside the rifling when the bullet is chambered, because you can end up with a pressure spike. Now, some more experienced reloaders will adjust their bullet seating to chase the lands because they get a better group when they do it that way. I'm not an expert reloader. I'm just beginning. So what else will you need? Well, you're going to need some case prep tools. This is the Lyman Universal Case Prep Tool, and it comes with our deburring and chamfering and deburring. It comes with our pocket hole cleaner, our reamer, and then our pocket hole uniformer. And we'll kind of go over how all this stuff works eventually. What else? So we're going to need a case tumbler for cleaning our brass. We will need powder measure. So we have our powder thrower. I know it's not in frame, but this will give us a little bit more precise powder measurement. You can do it the old-fashioned way, just scoop it into your pan here, and then measure the weight. And our powder trickler to throw in that extra couple little grains. This is just for ease. And then, of course, our powder funnel. We're also going to need a priming tool. So you can, most presses, you have some sort of priming system on the press. So most presses are going to have a priming system on press, but in my research, most people don't use it because it's a little bit finicky. This is not the end-all be-all hand priming system. This is the one that came with my Hornady kit. It's useful. It works. That's good enough for now. Our case trimmer. Let's see if I can get it in frame here. But that's the majority of what you're going to need for right now. And like I said, we're going to go more into it in future episodes, but this is what I'm starting with. So if you have any questions, just post them in the comments. And if you have any tips, pointers, things that I should get, post them in the comments. Well, that's it for this episode of Learning to Reload. I hope you'll join me in future episodes, and we're going to take this journey together. Bye now.